Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to start clearing out the vicious Githyanki in their crash. And we're actually going to include Lizelle in this. She's okay with that. They're all we know going to kill us and take our artifact. So the only thing that Lizelle truly cares about right now is getting the squid outside of her head. But we're not going to be able to use Karlak for this. So she's not very accurate and she's not very good at dealing damage to groups, so we're going to have her go back to camp. But Gale is great at doing damage to groups of people, so we're going to pull him out. And he'll run with the party. Now, where we need to start, we've got some Gith that are patrolling, we've got Gith that are in hallways, so we need to find a place where we have a solid foot on the ground and we won't have to deal with interlopers. And that's going to be up here. So by what would ordinarily be the front door, this door leads up to the entrance that was through the cave-in, the one that we didn't use.
Forgive me. We have not been visited by an Inquisitor in an age.
All right, so once we've got everybody up here, we're going to break the party apart. We're going to grab Lizelle, and we'll jump to the other side. And she's just going to wait here for a second. So what we're going to want to do is reposition all of these Gith over here somewhere so that we can get a surprise round and sort of launch in with a fireball. Before we get too much further in that, let's make sure that Gale has fireball in memory. So we don't have that yet. We'll just get rid of grease and throw in fireball. If things go wrong and we need to save Gale, we'll equip invisibility as well. So that way if something happens that's bad, he can run away. He doesn't need Featherfall or Enhanced Sleep right now. We can put in Shatter, which is another good area of effect spell. We've got some Scrolls of Sleet Storm, and we want to use our own spells when we can, so we're okay with just leaving Sleet Storm not equipped. We would prefer Sleep to Thunderwave. So if we have some opponents that are low on hit points, we could sleep them and make them lose their turn, or potentially force others to use their turn to wake them up. And if we wanted to, we could cast Mage Armor. It's not really going to change Gale's armor class by enough to make it worthwhile to do. So we'll pick either Thunderwave or Grease, whatever you'd like. Grease can be good, but the Gith will not be subject to it very often because they will tend to Misty Step over areas rather than actually walk through them. So we will take our main character. Ophira will walk up and she's going to use Minor Illusion to start grouping the bad guys. And you see that they'll all start clustering around. And our main worry here is this raider, who we want to make sure is coming along. And we're just going to try and group them up. And we'll switch to our other characters.
I crave blood.
We'll put them into hiding mode. Cast another one. We've got about got him. And they keep turning around and seeing my main character. So then we're going to go into pause mode. So we've got everybody but the main character sneaking, which is not what we want. We want everybody sneaking if we can. So we'll go ahead and have our main character crouch. And we'll step out of the way a little bit.
Ready for anything.
They're going to start walking away. We'll switch back to Alfira, and we'll walk to where we're not going to be spotted. And we'll cast one more Minor Illusion and see if we can't cluster them up a little bit. And then we'll step out of the way so that we don't get seen. see if we can get these folks to stand here. And that's what we're looking for. And we'll go ahead and get this started with Lizelle. So we'll step in, and we're going to offhand shoot at the person that we have the highest chance to hit. Which is this person right here, the Ardent.
Your violence hasn't gone unnoticed. It's about to be returned in kind.
That should have started a surprise round. It didn't, but we're going to continue to play. So we're going to launch in with Gale and a Fireball. We don't need to try to help them save. All right, and we're going to switch to Alfira. And we're going to use an arrow of many targets. And we'll go ahead and shoot the guy that we've got a 94% on.
I think you can take me on.
And we're getting some really buggy behavior. So we're not getting our sneak attack. Things are not working as well as we'd like. We'll use another arrow of many targets. And bringing us back to Lizelle. We've got 2 throws and we may need to reposition to get them off. So we'll start off with throwing the Watcher's Guile if we can. It looks like everything is blocked, so they're too far over. And we've already used our jump, so that's not available to us. We do still have regular attacks, and we've got magic missiles that we can shoot. Our issue here is that this Gish still has 32 hit points. They're the most dangerous, and we don't have an easy way of taking them out without using our throwing weapon. So we've got to ask ourselves if we're willing to take a little damage or if we're willing to use a consumable. We could use a potion of speed and close the distance, so we could just run down the ladder and throw and probably finish these folks all off, or we can take a few hit points and damage from whatever Gish Farang is going to do. So I'm going to chance it because we have a lot of healing potions, and I don't want to burn too many resources too early. So we'll take a shot, and then we'll take a look at what we've got that we can throw. So we can set someone on fire, we've got some smoke bombs, and that looks to be our best option if we want to try to automatically kill someone. So we'll move our smoke powder bombs over here and throw. You see that we got the warrior. We've significantly damaged Githyanki. We might be able to kill her if we use an action surge. So we'll go ahead and try that. This comes back on a short rest. And to confirm the kill, we could use magic missile if we had not shot, or we can just throw fire, which is what we're going to do. So we'll go to our fire, move some alchemist fire, select throw, and end the fight. So now we've got a base of operations. This area is not going to be a place where the other patrols are coming in. We'll cast Featherfall so we can jump down. We don't have the key to these doors yet. and we'll see what we find. So we've got a crossbow, don't really need that. We have the key to the door, and a scroll of sleep.
It's been a long day.
The warrior has
I need
got
to rest
another
soon.
key and a greatsword we don't need. And the Gish has a unique ring, the Ring of Arcane Synergy, which we do want, and some other stuff that we probably don't. We can come in here and see there was a tiefling that we had the opportunity to talk to. We'd never actually did talk to her, but this is the one that we met near the Gith Squad originally. They captured her and tortured her and killed her. We could talk to her body using Speak with Dead if we wanted to find out what happened. It basically just tells us that the Gith are not very nice, and we'll grab these potions. And then we'll rejoin the party and head to the ledge again. On the way, we can grab this chest. Not much in it. And from here, we're going to deal with the quartermaster and her guards. And similar strategy, we're going to use Minor Illusion to group them up, Fireball, and trying to get a sneak attack off. That has not been going well for us, but we'll give it a try. All right, so we'll put everybody in crouch. And we're going to cast Minor Illusion. And as they're buttoned up, we've got all three of them in one fireball area.
Staying out of sight.
We'll start off with Lizelle. Now, we can throw other items, right? So we don't actually have to throw our returning weapon every time we want to throw something. We've got all kinds of other things that we could launch to initiate combat. The returning weapon just happens to be the one that does the most damage. So we could take a look and try to move them towards each other. We could do some acid damage. We've got some smoke powder bombs. We bought quite a lot of those. This will create some spiders that we could use. Probably won't use this in this particular playthrough. And then we could also take a look and see what weapons we can throw. So we've got additional pikes and things that we could throw. Some of the weapons are listed as throwable. So like this hand axe +1, for instance, would be something that we could use to throw with Lizelle. So as an example, let me show you. We'll grab the hand axe +1 and we'll throw it. And we've got an archer. The quartermaster has the most hit points and is the most dangerous. And then we've got a warrior. These guys have a parry action, which makes the first attack not really work very well on them. We'll go ahead and start off on the quartermistress.
As I was taught.
And we can see it didn't start combat. We made our stealth check. So we'll have Gale launch a fireball and see if that will start combat. There we go. And we were able to remove one of them from the fight. She just decided not to fight. Right, so this is a super buggy instance. I'm not really certain why this happens sometimes, but for whatever reason, sometimes characters will simply refuse to participate in combat. It's really annoying because if you're burning resources like Fireball, you know, it could be hard to keep up as you're burning resources and you're not actually doing damage. So we did pretty good damage there. We'll head back to Lizelle and see what else we can do. We lost our first round action from throwing. We've got a offhand attack. No reason to correct that for the very small amount of damage that it does. We can move Gale backwards a little bit.
Breathing.
Our main character still has an attack. So it looks like we're going to reposition over here. And we have no reason not to use Slash and Flourish, so we're going to do that, see if we can hit. And you can see that we actually need a higher number, but we've got these portent die. We'll go ahead and use one. All right, so at this point, we're just going to try to get her to respond. So we're just going to shoot her. And now that she's decided to play in the combat with us,
In my best interest.
we'll get Lazelle, who is the person that we have that does the most damage to hard targets, to weigh in. And then we can have Gale finish her off with a magic missile. So she's got 5 hit points. We've got an amulet on that adds an additional missile. So level 1 magic missile, and we'll just drop all 4. Confirmed kill. All right, so that's it. We've taken out the quartermaster as well.
Breathe deep and move.
And we'll see what these folks have. We can have Lazelle pick up the hand axe again. This warrior's got a sword. The raider has got a crossbow. And the quartermistress has the defender flail. The knife, this knife, in addition to being a +2 weapon, also lowers the number we need to roll a critical hit by 1. So it's a great main weapon for anybody that isn't throwing their main weapon. It is, however, a full-size sword instead of a dagger, so we're not able to dual wield without taking a feat. We'll get the Unseen Menace, and this unique amulet of branding. So we get this option to hit a target with vulnerable to bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing, and it lasts for 3 turns. We use it once a long rest. So we can essentially choose someone to take double damage from melee attacks. So it's a really good amulet, and we'll get that. These 2 Gith we've already gotten experience for, so we don't need to continue to attack them. We'll come back from where we were, and we're going to open the door and pull some additional targets in. All right, so we can see that there are some patrols that are going through, and then a couple of youths. That's what we're going to start with, so we will position our illusion. And again. All right, so we've isolated these 2. Cast 1 more time to bring them forward, or twice more since this guy seems insistent about walking away. And then we're going to crouch and go into turn-based mode. Now we can see that we've got a couple of the patrollers walking here, so to make sure that they don't see, we'll shut the door. And we'll start off with Lazelle,
Assume nothing.
and we'll throw the one against the other one.
Your violence hasn't gone unnoticed. It's about to be returned in kind.
And you see that these guys are red now, but they don't see us.
Nothing will stand in my way.
So main character, slashing flourish at the one that's standing. We'll put 2 shots in. And we're out of slashing flourish until we rest again. But we have more attacks. And we can see what they've got. And the answer is nothing.
Find a way forward.
I will open the door again and let's take a look and see if our guards have reset to not caring about us or caring about us. So, yep, they don't care anymore. They have gone yellow.
Quite exhausted. A good
We'll see if we can attract them. And we'll
Don't want to draw any attention.
crouch, try and bring them back. And we'll just go into turn-based mode. This is not a particularly dangerous combat. It'd be nice if we could get a surprise round out of it. We'll try that with Gale. So we'll throw a spell and see if that doesn't work. I will hit the warrior here with a spell that will cause him to not be able to heal. The warriors do have the fighter ability to heal themselves. Right, and it looks like we do have a surprise round for one of them, which is something. So because we've got a surprise round on the warrior, we'll go ahead and shoot the archer. And again, almost but not quite.
Keeping low.
We'll see if Lizelle can finish him off
Your pain.
with our offhand attack, always wanting to use that to join. And then we'll throw our spear a couple of times. And we're doing combat in earnest in this video, right? So most of the previous videos, we haven't really concerned ourselves too greatly with the mechanics of combat. But the Crèche has so many opponents that we're not going to be able to just use explosives for all of them. All right, so that's through. This guy's going to have a parry. And we missed anyway. But it didn't parry enough of the damage. Alright, so there goes the folks that patrol the hallways. And again, nothing particularly awesome in the way of gear. Very few of the Gith have anything good to pick up. This guy, we'll just go ahead and walk up behind him,
Githyanki lay their eggs
go into turn-based mode,
Cannot mature in the astral.
and we'll have Lizelle kick it off
Will only
with
be
an offhand
welcomed
attack.
once I obtain a mind flayer's head. Pick to fight. The consequences are hardly surprising.
Again, not surprised. Not sure what the deal with that is.
taking position.
But it doesn't really matter because it's a weak opponent. Alright, so the hallway is completely clear. We're not going to bother clearing out the hatchery because we have already gotten experience for that. So there's this room, and then the lodging bay, and then the surgeon. So same protocol here. We're going to come up with the group.
No time to rest.
We're going to group everybody up. We'll sort of fireball them, and then the hard target in the room is this guy, Savarsh Kethkek. And he's got 94 hit points. The rest of them don't have very many. So he's the guy that we'll have Lizelle focus on, and we'll have Gale start off with a fireball, and then probably we'll have the main character run in and use Glyph of Warding. Now, because we're going to be using some additional speed and we'll need movement, we'll go ahead and cast Longstrider on everybody in the party. And for our main character, we can even switch out from the Shapeshifter's Boon Ring and pick up Crusher's Ring for some additional movement. So the main character, Elfira, is going to be able to run really, really far, and that'll come in handy for running up and casting glyphs. All right, so with that done, we'll break the party apart so they're not all following us around. We'll have Gale
Eager for
and
battle.
Lizelle crouch.
Let's get going.
Our main character will just throw minor illusion. And I'm experiencing like when you're near a door, sometimes targeting looks super weird.
When you have a chance to kill, you take it.
There's a guy in the back, and he's really the guy that we're looking to bring forward here.
This is
And there we go. We've got them pretty tightly clustered. You see, they're kind of jerks. Like, that guy just killed one of his own students. So I don't really feel bad about icing these dudes.
At the ready.
So Gale's going to go ahead and just get a party started with a fireball. The kids are not going to die, so don't feel bad about that. Something about the Larian games is that they ensure that children are not vulnerable to death. So we'll just go ahead and drop a fireball straight in their midst. And then we'll take our main character and we're going to run in and see if we can't do enough damage with Glyph to kill some more of them. We'll choose fire because fire is what we started with. So we did some damage, but not enough.
Time to strike.
And yeah, for reasons apparently clicking near the door opens the door. So we've got some attacks with our thrown weapon. Our main target is Savarsh Kethkik. We've got also a couple of these youths. We did manage to take out the caster, the Ardent, so that's good.
Time to waste.
Lucky crit. I'll take it. So we didn't roll particularly well for damage. And we can see everybody is almost dead, but not quite dead. So again, we have this question of whether or not we want to use a consumable to get through the combat. So there's a fair few of these, and they're pretty weak at this point in time. We still have our bonus action, and so we'll commit to this particular combat. So we'll grab a potion of speed and drink it. This is a bonus action, but it gives us our action back. So with our action ready again, we can cast another Glyph of Warding Fire. And that's going to finish the combat. And in a couple of rounds, when the potion of speed expires, we're going to get dizzy. So we'll be stunned for a round. And that's what consumables are for. So we're not here to try to hoard consumables to see how many we can hold at the end of the game. What we're interested in is using them to get through battles that might otherwise be problematic.
My eyes grow heavy.
So we'll grab the scroll that this guy was carrying, and we'll check the leader. Again, he's just got a regular crossbow. And one of the youths that he was talking to, the one that he hit, has got an Orpheus Prince of the Comet update. So we'll go ahead and read that. And this one just kind of shows up in text on the screen and exit out. We see we got experience for it, and we can talk to Lizelle about it and learn more about the Prince of the Comet. All right, so let's take a look at the last room that has a large opposition force.
What is your interest in the astral plane?
Time. Or rather, the absence of it. The astral plane.
Open up the door, and let's take a look at Gale and see what he's got in the way of casting. So he's out of third level spells, but Gale is a wizard and has an arcane recovery ability, so we'll recover one of his third level spells. So we'll have one more casting of Fireball, and then we've got Shatter as well. So again, we'll have everybody crouch. Not going to work because there are people looking in. So we can back off and see if we can maybe get Gale out of combat.
My patience wanes.
And we'll have our main character do the same thing. So we're going to try and group up everybody. We're going to cast the Minor Illusions way off to the left here to try to get the folks in here to come. And looks like we got everybody this time. And we'll try and get everyone clustered. almost have them. And there we go. All right, so we've got pretty much everybody hanging out by this box. We don't need to break the box. It's not important. And in fact, it's got one of the anti-magic cats, so we should probably just leave this closed. It probably wouldn't get blown up in the exchange, but since we can choose to target outside of it, we should. Our main target is this guy, the Gish. Always the caster is the biggest problem, so the Ardent and the Gish are the biggest issues that we're going to have. Geek the Wizard, hit the guy in the pajamas, whatever view you've got of that, that's what we're looking to do here. So we'll go ahead and start off with a Fireball. We're not going to try to fix their saves. They're upset with us for attempting to kill them all.
Another fight.
I get it.
Let's go.
So same deal as last time. We're going to run in and see if we can drop a glyph that will do more damage. So we'll see how many people will survive this. And this is always a bit random, right? So sometimes they're going to save, sometimes they're not going to save. There's no real way of telling what's going to happen before that. We have an offhand attack, which is going to do a few points of damage. So we can choose to attack the Gish or the Ardent. I'm going to run over and try to take a stab at the Gish. And got lucky on that and managed to kill him. And then I'll step out of the way. I didn't get close enough to provoke an attack of opportunity from these two. Now we've got Lizelle. Lizelle's going to try to come in and do some cleanup work. So we're going to throw. We'll try to take out the Ardent first. He's the most dangerous. There's a reason that we do that, and the reason, of course, is that sometimes we miss. Even if that's only a 1, so we rolled a 1 on that attack. But we got him that time. We still have an offhand attack. We'll try it on this Raider and see if we can hit, and we do. So lucky us. We took them all out before they even got to attack. This is the real beauty of using the feat that we chose, Alert, right? So always going first means that we control the flow of the battle. So if we're able to do enough damage, the opponents don't even get to attack. We'll take a look and see what these guys have. This Gish has a Ring of Elemental Infusion, so this is great. When we deal damage with a cantrip, it can infuse our weapon. If we have an elemental build, right, like a multi-class paladin or something, this can be good to add a little bit of damage. We'll pick it up because it's unique. We'll also grab the Infirmary key, although we will not need it. We've got a chest that we can loot if we'd like. And just some money in there.
Be on my way.
And we can come back into this room. It's kind of funny, Lizelle thinks that they're super soft because they have beds.
This Crèche's bunks look entirely too soft for my liking.
Right, so she thinks that these people are not really very githy. We will actually use a grease bottle, although we have a whole bunch of them sitting around. All right, so we've got 2 locations left in here to deal with. So we've got the hallway going in to talk to the Gith leaders, and then we've got this room with the medic and the machine to extract. And we'll deal with both of those in the next video. I will see you there.